what is normal? Wearing your shoes in the house or not? I'm pretty sure most people do not wear their outdoor shoes inside. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
Today we're going to be sharing things that we thought were normal, but may not actually be so normal. And this idea stemmed from the fact that I was a child who went to summer camp and Nick did not. And it's just something I thought was super normal, and most kids went to summer camp.
Well, explain the summer camp that you went to so that we know what you're talking about. Because I did go to summer camps, but I didn't go to summer camp.
Sleepaway camp.
Sleepaway camp.
So yeah, for what did I say? Like 10 years I went to sleepaway camp, and it was the same camp, and our parents would pack up our suitcases and drive us to Maryland, and we would stay there for 1 or 2 weeks, and we had the time of our life.
That literally sounds like something from the movies.
Really?
Yeah, every time you talk about that, it reminds me of Parent Trap, their camp.
Yeah, but their camp was all summer.
Yeah, but it just reminds me of that.
It was kind of like that, though. We would water ski, rock climb. It was a sailing camp, so for many years
was the sailing camp?
That was a sailing camp, yeah.
So you went to 10 years of sailing camp?
Yeah.
And you can't sail?
But I didn't do sailing every year because as I got older, I developed my fear of snakes. And I knew the snakes were in the water, and I didn't want to get in the water anymore.
They everywhere, Dani. The snakes are everywhere.
I know, but I didn't want to get in the water. So I did develop that fear.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We need to go back in your childhood and see where the fear of snakes really got crazy.
Yes, I went to sailing camp for 10 years, but when you're only doing it for 1 week of the year as a kid, you really can't learn that much.
Yeah, but your brother knows.
Yeah, but I don't think he really knows.
I feel like he knows a lot.
He's a faker.
He's a faker?
Yeah.
I'm telling him
He took us one time, not that long ago, and we got stuck out in the sea, so he's a faker. But yeah, summer camp was the spark of this. So
I did actually in 5th grade. My school had a thing where we went for maybe a week or half a week or something like that, 4 days, long weekend to a camp, and it was a sleepaway camp, just like what you describe. But that was my only experience with anything like that.
You just went to day camps?
No. Yeah, besides that, I went to day camps. Yeah, a tennis camp or just different types of camps like that.
So while this topic was more of a serious, something I thought was normal that wasn't, this might get a little bit more unhinged, things that we know aren't normal, but were normal to us.
Yeah. That's how all of our podcasts go. I feel like it just runs with it.
For me, I know wearing shoes in the house is not normal, but it is normal to us, and we wear.
Wait, that's not normal? Are you serious?
There are people who will literally never wear their shoes in the house.
That's also, I feel kind of not normal. I feel like the people that are very strict about that is a little weird.
We'll have to do a question of the day. What is normal? Wearing your shoes in the house or not? I'm pretty sure most people do not wear their outdoor shoes inside.
Really?
I would think that's more normal.
I feel like the people that are like that is sometimes they wear their shoes in the house, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, but for the most part, they probably try to take their shoes off.
That's interesting. That's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah, to me, it's crazy.
I mean, it is dirty to wear those shoes inside, but we have dogs, and that's just our life, and that's just how we are. And we vacuum a lot.
Yeah, your feet are pretty dirty.
The bottom of my actual foot.
No, people they're acting that taking the shoe off, it's not going to end up being dirty in some form or fashion.
Yeah, they're wearing their outdoor shoes. They get to the door, they take them off, and then they have indoor shoes.
They're put on indoor shoes.
Yeah, okay. Some people will do that.
Yeah.
Some people will just wear their socks, probably.
Yeah, their little sweaty feet just all over the ground.
Still different than outdoor dirt, though.
Yeah, but the thing, my philosophy is if you always have your outdoor shoes on, pretty much, it's is that big of a deal?
I definitely wear my shoes on the couch. That's normal.
Yeah, that's not normal. I don't like that you do that. I really don't like that.
It's normal for me, but I know it's not normal.
That isn't normal. Or you'd jump in the bed with your shoes on.
I am a germaphobe, but I will still wear my shoes on the couch. So
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. I don't do it that much.
Yeah, you don't sometimes. The idea of
you
the shoes in the
sometimes.
house, that seems like, I would think that's normal, like to wear your shoes in the house.
You're wrong.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, as you guys know, I really love books. But I would think that people like books probably not as much as me, but still would have a fair amount of books, and that's not normal.
So
But I feel like it's kind of like people should.
the amount of books you have in your house is not normal.
I think it's like on a little bit not normal, but like I feel like people should.
You literally have more than 1,000 books in your house. That's not normal.
I know that's not normal, but I'm like, it kind of surprises me that people don't own at nearly as many books. Like I feel like people think the amount
People
of.
don't get
I don't think.
attached to them
I guess
like
what I'm
you
saying
do.
is I don't think the amount of books I own is that crazy. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's.
You're wrong.
I think it's a little bit on the upper end or whatever, but I don't think it's that crazy.
It's crazy.
I guess it must be, but to me, like it doesn't feel that crazy.
Okay.
Like I feel like that, as an example, like so I think we own a little over 1,000 books. I feel like that in most people's houses, like, oh yeah, they probably have a few hundred books. No, not true, but I would think that.
Yeah, people don't want to store all of them. If they read it, they just like carry on.
Yeah, that's not how I feel at all.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Okay, sharing your location with your partner. There's people who like for sure will always share their location, and there's people who will never share their location. I feel like I'm indifferent about this. Like I understand why people do it and why people don't do it, but I think that if you have like an open like communication relationship, I was gonna say like an open relationship, but that's not what I mean. Like if you communicate with your partner and like you have trust, then you don't need to. Like Nick and I don't share our locations with each other. We don't really feel the need to.
But we always call each other like, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going.
We just know where each other are, and it's like not a big deal. But some people are like obsessive over it, which I think is also not healthy. Like if you're that obsessive, then you probably don't trust your partner, which is bad.
Yeah, there are, there's people that like I have as friends that like are very, like they like every time they come over, they're like, we'll share their location.
Like, okay, if Nick worked in the city and I wanted to see like if he was on his way home without having to call him, like I would understand why that is a nice feature to have. But if I'm like checking all the time to be like, where is he now? Where is he now? Where is he now? Then I'm like, that's a little obsessive and not healthy.
I kind of feel like if you need to know where they are and you can't reach out to them with a text or a call, it's like, and then you need to like spy on them. I feel like that's a little weird. To me, it feels like a little weird.
Yeah. But
like,
if I wanted to, I feel like you would share your location with me.
Yeah, I don't have anything necessarily against it. You know, it's not like I care that you would. It seems like it is one of those things that could become like, it's a little weird that you do that with your mom.
Yeah, I like it. I like being able to be like, okay, let me see if she's on her way home from work before I call her.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, with you, it'd totally be fine. But like, I don't know that I want other people to know, like, where is he at?
Yeah. No, I get it. I also think it's like the same vibes as partners knowing each other's passwords on their phone and stuff. It's like, I feel like
that's different to me.
Why?
I feel like you should definitely know your partner's password.
Why?
It just feels like if you need to get into their phone, you should be able to get in. Don't you think? Like for anything that might happen.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know why you felt
the
that way.
reason I feel like the location is different is because like you can like ask them. Like, or like for us, we always tell each other where we're going, what's going on, all that type of stuff. I suppose like for an emergencies, it would be fine. And maybe that's why maybe we should have it for emergencies. But like the passcode stuff, it's like we use each other's phones all the time. It's crazy to me if you were like, yeah, I'm not going to give you my password.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
And then you'd be like, why? What are you hiding?
Yeah.
Okay, something we thought was normal that we have found.
Hold on. Sorry. I also think it's crazy if like you have the password and like you abuse that and you're like snooping on your person's phone. That's also really bad.
Yeah.
So like
it goes back to trust again.
it goes back to trust. So like if you want to know the password so that you can like like if I was like taking your phone, I'm like I'm reading your text messages, that would be bad, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So like if you're using it in a bad sense, then I also agree that that's bad. I just think that it's one of those things that like knowing is probably a good thing. But yeah, if you're snooping on your person's phone, then you don't trust them. Mm-hmm. Maybe they deserve to not be trusted. Maybe they've given you a reason, but you then probably shouldn't be with them.
Okay, can I go into the next one now?
Yeah.
Something we thought was normal that we found as we have met other people is not always normal is sharing finances as a married couple. And we still cannot get behind this or understand this because personally, we think that couples should have shared finances and that it would really like have a strain on your relationship if they weren't shared because you're constantly having to be like, are we splitting this? Like, who's paying for this? And I feel like that would cause a lot of tension in a relationship that's not necessary. If you are married and you are one, we feel like the both should contribute to the same funds and then you share about what you should.
Yeah, it's not, we view it as it's not yours and my money, it's our money type of thing. And so part of that could come from like when we got married, we were younger and like it's not like we were both bringing like different size of assets and all those different things. But at the same time, like we just have always been that way, you know? And so I also think it's kind of one of those things, like at least the way that we believe about marriage is like when you get married, like it is 100% like for life. There's no like backup plan of like, oh, well, I need to keep something in my back pocket for just in case. It's like, you know what, if somehow a divorce happened and, you know, it's really sad and all that type of stuff, well, then you're going to have to figure it out at that, when that point comes. But like, we're jumping into this both feet. We're not keeping like finances separate and things like that. That very much could be an unpopular opinion, but that's how we view it. And that's how we've chosen to act. I really do wonder, how popular do you think that is or not?
I would think more married couples do share their finances.
Like 100%, like one joint account, like totally commingled.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The other thing too that it could be a little interesting is like when you get into like the investment stuff, like if somebody has like an IRA or whatever at a company, like is that in their name? Is it joint? Like I could see how that could get a little bit more complicated.
I do think too, if the two people in the relationship had super different spending habits, then that could be a toxic problem because like it would seem unfair if you were both contributing to the same pile of money, but then one person was spending an absurd amount and the other one wasn't. And if you couldn't talk about it and create a budget that worked for you guys, and if it bothered the other person, then that would be a big problem.
Yeah, it's like you almost need to put that person on an allowance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that stuff can be a big problem. It's like some people are like big shoppers and the other person's not per se. Like it'd be like, what if I was buying like tons of stuff all the time?
Yeah.
You know, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be hard.
And something else that seems super normal to us is the amount of time that we spend together as a married couple, when we have found that most married couples that we know do not hang out nearly the amount that we do, but that's mostly because we work together. Even if you work two different jobs, then you would think, okay, from like 5 to 8 that those married couples would spend their time together. But most people we know still choose to go do an activity or hang out with their friends in the other time. And that some people like don't even see their partner every single day, basically.
Or very little.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is wild to us, but to us, it's normal to spend this much time together.
Yeah, and so much so that like I feel like both of us think that life would be sad if it was any other way.
Yeah, it's so weird to think that there are people who live so opposite of us.
You brought up something about like friends, and I don't know if this is normal or not, but like we really don't hang out with friends all that often.
And if we do, it's like strictly on the weekends, a Saturday or Sunday. We don't really do that stuff in the week.
Some people are very like friend oriented and they're seeing them like, you know, at least once or multiple times in a week. And we have never really been like that.
For us, we work like so much in the week that on the weekends we try to spend like quality time together. So while Nick and I see each other all the time, we don't spend quality time together. So we try to do that on the weekends, whether that's like going on a walk or a hike or just even watching a show or doing something, going to the pool. And so if we don't do that on like our Saturday, and then we never have that quality time together. And to us, it's important to do that. So that's why we choose to spend our time that way.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times, like, it just depends, like, with friends and stuff. So we do have some really good friends, but I feel like most of the time, like, trying to coordinate everything with all of them and just, like, everyone has kids now. There's so many things that makes it really hard to make that work super well, and it's just, like, it's just easier for us to do. Like, we want to hang out with each other anyway, so, like, we're just going to do that.
Okay, something we thought was normal is rinsing your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher.
Rinsing them?
Yeah.
That's not normal?
Well, I don't know.
People that be putting a super dirty plate in the dishwasher, like with a ton of food on it, that's crazy.
I have seen some TikTok videos of people who like their profession is dishwasher stuff. They say like you scrape the big chunks off, but you don't need to rinse them. You can just put them in the dishwasher because that is the purpose of the dishwasher. The first cycle is doing that rinse.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, but it just seems like our dishes are always sparkly clean. Maybe they would be if we did that, but like you know what? That can't be true all the time because like there's times when we don't do it as well, and it's like sometimes the dish be a little dirty afterwards.
Yeah, but that's because it like got crusted over.
Crusty, you know. You need to rinse that crust off. That's not normal. That's crazy. Those types of things are like, I feel like you grew up in a household like that, and like that's how you do it.
Yeah. Some people don't even have a dishwasher.
That's crazy. When I was in college, I almost never used a dishwasher. I'd like have one plate, one fork. I believe
that.
That's literally what I would do.
You still do that now. You use 1 cup and you just cycle through your 1 cup.
Yeah. But yeah, in college, I could literally have a plate and a bowl and like a fork and a knife. I would wash it after every single time I'd eat, and then it would be clean when I'd need to use it the next time.
I feel like that's like college man behavior.
Yes, it is. Something that has like, I know that this is not normal, but it's become our normal, is not drinking. I feel like that's something that like is kind of wild to think. It's so not in our life. On
Easter, your sister asked like, oh, do you ever like wish you could have a drink or whatever? And I'm like, I literally never think about it.
Yeah, we don't think about it.
It's not something that ever crosses my mind. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like to anyone else, if you don't like spicy food and you don't eat spicy food, you don't ever think or desire having spicy food, you know? That's kind of how I feel, I guess.
Or like just like a food that you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what beets. I hate beets, right? So I was like, do you ever like think about like, you know, cooking up some beets? No, I don't. Honestly, not even that. Like that sounds gross.
Something normal for us is keeping the butter on the counter.
That is something that's changed from my childhood to now. Like my parents don't do that, and I do. Like Dani did, and I was like, I like this better. It's much easier to spread, and if you go through butter, it's not going to go bad.
I should have put that on something that sends me. Trying to spread cold butter.
What?
It's like, so frustrating, and then puts a hole in your bread. I love some nice warm butter.
Or just room temperature.
Yeah.
And warm.
Yeah, it's warm.
No, it's not warm.
Well, it's not cold.
It's not hot.
I didn't
It's not
say
melted.
That. Okay, what about laundry? We are different on this. I will take the laundry out and put it away. Nick will live out of the laundry basket.
That's a little bit more recently to like having a kid. I feel like I used to be better at that.
A little bit better.
Yeah, now I don't have time to do that.
It doesn't take that many minutes.
You
do have time to do it. You just choose not to do it.
Yeah, but like if I don't do,
Something that sends me is when people say they don't have time for something, but they have time to scroll on their phones.
Scroll on their phones, or like they're watching like 1 to 2, 3 episodes of Netflix in a night. I cannot tell you. Reading is one of those things. Almost every person that like is like sees the amount that I read are like, I wish I could read that much. And I'm like, literally, show me your screen time and show me your Netflix account or like your streaming service. And I'm like, I just found you probably 3 to 4 hours. Now, like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with choosing to spend your time that way. I'm just saying don't be complaining to me that you don't have time to do these things when you probably do. There's some people that don't, and I'm not talking to you. But the majority of you, I am talking to you. If you're going to be complaining to me about not having the time, I'm talking to you now.
Okay, I feel like almost everyone does this, so I'll be shocked if people say they do it a different way. But people like us who save their grocery bags and put them all in one big grocery bag. That's how you save them.
Like
you crumple them up and you have one grocery bag full
that holds the rest of them.
Yeah.
That seems normal to me.
That seems very normal. So if you don't do that, let me know what you do with your grocery bags. But I bet there are some people who actually are very committed to their reusable bags. So there's probably those people.
Yeah. Something that seems very normal to me, and I am very aware now that this isn't normal, but like, as you guys know, I wear the same like outfits every day. Now they're different. Like I have like 7 of these black shirts, and I have like all the different like, you know, shorts and stuff, but like it's still the same, right?
I do think a lot of men find like a polo they like or something like that, and they'll get every color of it. But not many people are like you where they wear the same exact thing every day.
Yeah, I'm very extreme. But I grew up like wearing a uniform and like I just am very comfortable not having to make that decision. I know exactly what I'm going to wear. It's very nice.
I grew up thinking, not that this is normal, but like I grew up thinking that you could not swallow gum or it would be in your stomach for like 7 to 9 years.
Our parents always told us like, yeah, it would be in there forever.
Yeah, but we need to find out what actually happens and how long does it. Like, I've obviously swallowed gum and I've been fine.
Yeah, or maybe it's just accumulating. Do you remember when your parents would say like, if you turn the light on in the car when you're driving, you're going to get arrested immediately?
Yes. I don't think it's actually illegal.
I don't know if it's illegal or not, but it's very hard to see when someone has a light on it. So like turn that off as the driver.
Yeah, but why did they make it seem like...
Because your kids would be like strobe lighting in the back and like, it's like, stop doing that. It might be illegal. I don't know.
Okay, something normal for Southerners is calling any liquid Coke.
No.
Yes, you guys definitely do.
No, we call Coke Coke.
No, you guys call any soda Coke.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Name an example.
Like, can I have a Coke? And they actually mean Sprite.
No.
Yes.
That's never happened to you.
Literally, all these Southern people do that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No one ever says, they'll say, can I have a Sprite?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, you might have something like, they might say something like, do you have a Coke? And they're more meaning like a soft drink.
That's what I'm saying.
That could happen.
The more you think about it, I'm right.
I still think you're right.
Also, Southerners think it's normal to have grits as a staple of breakfast. I don't know why that hasn't traveled other places.
That is a staple of breakfast.
Yeah, but not to anyone else other than Southerners.
They're wrong.
But why hasn't grits like spread its wings?
I don't know. People don't have good taste. Grits are amazing.
But like you barely have ever had them.
I literally grew up having them all the time.
Yeah, I know, but like in this life with me, like we don't ever eat grits.
We don't cook grits that often now. We should. We should do it more.
Yeah, it's not something I ever think about because it's not normal.
This is something that's changed recently in our lives, but I think people would think it's a little crazy. We think it's very normal to cook all of our meals.
Ooh, that is a good one.
And to not really go out to eat.
It is not normal for us to go out to eat.
Not normal. But then like when I hear some of my friends and like family and stuff, it's like they be going out to eat like multiple times a week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think we are in the abnormality there.
You know, whether it's like, oh, during work I grab lunch out and about or like, you know, whatever. Like we cook all of our meals. And that is kind of tough, but like once we've gotten on that train, it's easy to keep on it, I feel like, overall. People might think that's very abnormal.
That's my whole list. But like most things, I'm probably going to think of a million later and be like, dang it, I should have said that.
We kind of touched on this one, but like we don't watch TV.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
That's not normal.
That is definitely not normal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't normal for us for a while. We used to watch more. But like now, you know, we tried it. We were hanging out with Callan until like that bedtime. And then that little bit of extra time, like I'm writing my book and then reading, and then Danielle's reading.
Yeah, I think like most couples, after the baby goes to bed, they probably like watch a show together or something.
Yeah. And I mean, reading, you know, I'd talked about like not having that much chill time. Reading's chill time. We have that. But it's more about like on the weekends, Danielle always be trying to do the most.
Me?
You always be doing the most.
No, you be doing the most.
I'm getting with my book and stuff. I've been doing more, but like you really always be doing the most. When we met out, you were always not chill, and I was trying to be more chill. And now like
I'm not chill.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Are you?
I don't know.
Do you feel like you're chill?
Yeah.
How? You always are doing things. You're like being, you know, just like you're the Energizer Bunny.
I don't feel like I am.
Yes, you are. You never want to just sit.
Yeah, that's true.
Ever.
Yeah, I don't really like sitting.
No. And to chill.
Sometimes though, I do.
Requires
Sometimes
sitting.
I'm like, let me just sit for a second.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, and then
you're
I'm over it.
Yeah, ready and back.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah, that was a real like difference in our relationship in the beginning. I wanted to like wake up on a Saturday and just have like a super chill day, and like I might get one of those every like 6 months with Danny. Like where we'd literally be like, oh, well, like let's watch a few episodes of a show and just chill.
Yeah, we go through phases. We might go back to that one time.
One time. Exactly. One time. One time a year.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Maybe you found something that you do that's normal or not normal. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.